You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Thursday the 21st of August, 2025. It is 62 days after the summer solstice. It is 32 days before the fall equinox. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 4th day of Fructidor, the day of the escourgeon, the 6-row barley. The sun rises today at 6:12 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:59 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:45 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:13 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:48 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 28 seconds, shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waning crescent phase and is 3% full at midday. The new moon will arrive on Saturday, the 23rd of August. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 4:14 a.m., 12 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 10:31 a.m., 1 meter 43. In the afternoon, low tide, 3:27 p.m., 24 centimeters. At night, high tide, 10:24 p.m., 1 meter 65. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the rose of Sharon, or Hibiscus syriacus, is apparently slightly out of fashion these days, but you would hardly know that if you walked around the neighborhood. Plant nurseries now offer far fewer varieties of the lavishly blooming tree than they once did, but you can see examples in the yards of almost every street, and one can see why. From June until frost, the roses of Sharon bloom with spectacular profusion in a wide variety of colors. The only downside is they drop spent blooms every day, festooning the sidewalks with little miniature cigars, or, if you prefer, unsmoked spliffs. It is messy, but is the generosity of the bloom worth it? Commemorations. History gives us today a day of uprisings and resistance. On this day in 1680, the Pueblo peoples captured Santa Fe, New Mexico from the Spanish. After 100 years of Spanish colonization, the Pueblos rose up against Spanish rule and the Franciscan friars' attempts to quash native religious practice. Under their leader, Pope, from the Oque-Owingeh Pueblo, the Pueblo revolt succeeded in ousting the Spanish from New Mexico. 2,000 settlers and the governor had to flee south to Mexico. The Pueblos would remain free of the Spanish for the next 12 years. On this day in 1831, Nat Turner's rebellion began in Southampton County, Virginia. Nat Turner was an enslaved carpenter as well as a preacher. He led a group of rebels, including both enslaved individuals and free blacks. They burned down plantations and killed their white inhabitants. It was the bloodiest slave uprising in American history. The rebellion was crushed after 4 days, but sent shockwaves through the slaving states. Nat Turner himself was captured, and he was sentenced to death. But before his execution, he told his story to a white attorney, Thomas Ruffin Gray. Gray would publish this account in a book, The Confessions of Nat Turner, in November 1831. It is unusual that we would have a first-hand account from a man in Turner's position, and Gray may not have been a sympathetic reporter, but the book still gives us an insight to the struggle of the enslaved before the Civil War. On this day in 1852, Chilkat Tlingit Indians destroyed the Hudson's Bay Company trading post, Fort Selkirk, in the Yukon Territory. They resented the company's interference in their traditional trade routes. It would not be rebuilt for 40 years. And finally, on this day in 1927, the Fourth Pan-African Congress assembled in New York City with representatives from the United States, the West Indies, Germany, Japan, India, South America, Sierra Leone, Gold Coast, Nigeria, Liberia, and South Africa. It was organized and hosted by the Circle of Peace and Foreign Affairs, a black women's organization led by Addie Waite Hunton. It was the only Pan-African Congress to be held in the Americas. And that is the Observatory, Thursday the 21st of August, 2025.